Hi guys, I just wanted to start off by apologising for leaving off where I did. If I wasn't going to finish it, I shouldn't have uploaded it and left it like that, so I'm sorry. I just finished off my last video talking about how I'm feeling a bit judged. The neurologist I saw had an opinion that he didn't hide very well about me using heavy duty opioid pain medication and the fact I'm going to be a pharmacist in a few months' time. What I want to move on to now is just having a bit of an open discussion about the levels. Okay, hang on. The levels of pain and the layers of pain. I think my biggest problem at the moment is the fact that my depression is being so badly managed. I've spoken before about wanting to change my antidepressant since I'm now on an inappropriate dose of the serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI. I take Prozac. It's because that one was chosen because I took it when I was 17, and under close supervision, when you're under 18, Prozac's the only antidepressant that you can give because of the increased risk of adolescent suicide tendencies. So I went back to that because it worked last time. Now I've been on it for over a year now. For every 3 months the dose was upped. A couple of times it was put back down again, and now I'm on 3 times the dose for depression, which is actually the dose for obsessive compulsive disorder. Now I don't have this disorder, so in my opinion, if it's not working at a high dose, then it's not working for me. I need to move on to something else. Now my GP doesn't feel that the different antidepressants are sufficiently different to warrant trying something else. Now I want to try venlafaxine. It's one of the alternative antidepressants like mirtazapine and quetiapine that have a completely different mode of action. They work on serotonin and they work on noradrenaline, which is why it's had some interesting findings with cases of fibromyalgia. Noradrenaline, as you know, is part of your sympathetic pathway. It's a stimulant. It's, if you think your fight-flight, it's your fight mechanism. So by suppressing the levels of noradrenaline in your system, what you're going to do is your overall sensitivity will be decreased by decreasing calcium in your neurons. It decreases the how likely your nerves are to fire, which is good if you have anxiety, which is good if you have depression that stems from that feeling of restlessness, uneasiness, insomnia, that kind of thing. I'm sure you can logically put that together, even if you're not a pharmacist. If you are feeling wired, you want something to calm you down, and that's how it works. Which is why it's been found to be good in people with a heightened pain at all times. So that's what I want to do. I'm working on my GP. I'm working on him very hard. I am nagging and nagging and nagging. But, I'm sorry. I'm the one that's done all the research, and in 4 months' time I will be a pharmacist, and I think I can make that kind of clinical decision. I just need him to respect it. Layers. my issue, as we've said, with the depression is I'm losing track of what's being made worse because of my depression, and I worry how much of my pain can be attributed to my depression and how much of my depression can be attributed to my pain. I think originally I've always said I have opioid associated, and chronic pain associated depression. I'm depressed because I'm in pain all the time. I'm depressed because I take a lot of pain medication all the time, which means that my natural level of endorphins, the chemicals that make you feel good, aren't enough to sustain my happiness because I'm used to having artificial opiate-based endorphins, which is why some people get addicted to heroin, because it makes them happy. It acts like an endorphin, which is your natural happiness chemical. The way is the line's very cloudy, very smudged, because either way, a lot of people would say it's not your fault. Of course you're depressed if you're in pain all the time. And if you just accept the depression as a separate medical condition, then if you're miserable, you're going to feel sluggish and achy. And aching joints is a classic symptom of depression. So the line's very, very hard to see. And I think this is the problem with the measuring of pain. If I am in a state where I feel unstable, I feel really emotional, then my body tension's different, which will change my pain. Or I feel, I'm tense, or I feel stressed. That's to do with my mental state, but it will affect my physical being as well. This is where all the measurement is all a bit lost. On the flip side to that, obviously I was telling you the week before last, about my work, and my boss saying that she thinks that I'm in breach of my physical and mental health declaration. Now, I'm making quite a few mistakes at work. Not nearly as many as some people, but more mistakes than I would like to be making. Now, again, people say, well, what do you expect? You're exhausted, you're tired, you're in pain all the time, your concentration's lapping, you're drugged up to the eyeballs, your mind's cloudy, whatever you like. I don't think at times I do blame my pain, and at times the pain's a useful excuse, whether it be for me or whether it be for other people. Like today, I just got a calculation wrong. There were 200 milligrams of a drug in 5 millilitres of something. The dose we had to give was 120 milligrams, and instead of writing 3 ml dose, I wrote 3.5 ml, which, in case it was a paediatric case, it could have been a dangerous overdose, depending on what the drug was. And it's all very well saying, oh, it's fine, I'm a pre-reg, this is when you're supposed to make mistakes, and it doesn't matter because I wasn't a pharmacist, and blah blah blah. It's not good enough. I'm not good enough. In my current state. I know that. Work know that. They just can't bring themselves to say it in words like that, so instead they tell me I'm in breach of my mental health declaration because of my depression, my suicidal thoughts. You can't trust anybody, even if you speak to them more outside work than in work. That's the way it is. I'm kind of losing my thread now. I'm going to move on to the next thing on my list. I was going to say something else. I've got, in front of me here, I've got my favourite crystal chakra set, which is one of my, my visualization methods of managing my pain, is my chakra focus.